advocacy group called 1VOICE. So me and Aaron both are in recovery, and Jeannine has a loved one that's in recovery, and we wanted to have different angles to be able to speak to you guys about recovery and addiction. So we're going to start off with Jeannine Ashcraft.
Good afternoon. I'm here to speak to you about how drug addiction affects the entire family, not just the person using. Before I get started, can I have one volunteer, please? You don't have to do anything except tell me your name.
David.
David, do you have plans for what are you going to do after high school?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. A little bit about myself and how addiction has affected me. I'm a daughter, a sister, a wife, and a mom. I have 3 grown kids, 2 girls and 1 boy. One daughter lives in California, the son lives in Ohio. The other daughter and her dog live with me. We're fortunate in that neither my husband nor myself and none of our kids have ever been in active addiction. But we do have a family member who has. Back in 2008, just after my second daughter graduated high school, I started hearing how bad the drug problem was in a neighboring community, and they were talking about heroin. That was a scary thing. Have you ever had a thought that just wouldn't leave you alone? I had a deep desire to do something, but I didn't know what. I wanted to be part of a solution. I soon learned that one of my husband's friends in California had found that both of his sons were addicted to heroin, and the youngest was only 13. This father had become involved with a group called Not One More, which was started by 2 ladies who each had a child die from a heroin overdose. They wanted to be part of the solution. The younger of his sons received treatment and is doing well. The older of the 2 is still in active addiction. These parents work tirelessly to help anyone they can who needs help and to spread awareness about heroin addiction and how and where to find help. But they can't help their own son because he doesn't want help. In the midst of all this, we learned that one of my nieces had become involved in heroin use. That was the final push that motivated me to start a local chapter of Not One More and be part of the solution. This is a national organization with 12 chapters across the country. If anyone feels the need to speak to someone privately, they are on Facebook as Not One More Southeast Indiana. And there's a call button on that page. Not One More is there to provide support to family members of those in active addiction, helping with the solution. It isn't always the kids who pick up the drugs. Sometimes it's the grown-ups. I would guess that in a group this size, most of you know someone who is dealing with this problem. When I told my niece that she was the impetus for my starting this group, she was touched and she cried. But just a few days later, she was using again. That's the hold heroin can have. No matter who it is in active addiction, it wrecks the entire family. If there are siblings, they don't get the attention they deserve because there's always something going on with the addict. Family money is used on treatment, getting them out of jail. Siblings suffer by not having enough money to play sports or have other fun. The addict will steal anything and everything they can from their family and others to get money for that next high. Can I have another volunteer? Your name?
Andrew.
And do you have plans for
Yes,
us?
ma'am.
Thank you. Statistics show that 80% of all drug addiction starts with prescription medications. Sometimes these medications are sneakily taken from parents, grandparents, or family members. And we know of a lady in Chicago named Jamie Smith. She is a well-to-do soccer mom who got involved in a pill ring with other soccer moms, which started out innocently, and this soon led to heroin. She's now in recovery and she speaks out. Heroin doesn't discriminate. It doesn't care who it takes down. Heroin always takes more than it gives. And now it's being laced with drugs that are far more potent. In the case of an overdose, in the fortunate situation where Narcan, an opioid reversal drug, is available and used, they don't die unless they stop using and get into treatment. They will eventually use that one more time that takes their life. This doesn't always work on the other drugs that they're lacing the heroin with. My niece was an athlete. She was married to a great guy. is mother to a 3-year-old little girl. They had nice cars and a new house. She now has a felony record, has been in and out of jail and in prison, has had multiple rehab attempts, thankfully is not using and has been doing well for quite some time. However, her marriage ended and she lost custody of that beautiful little girl. In the midst of her addiction, she stole from family members, forged checks, took prescriptions from family members, lost job after job, and wrecked a few cars. She dragged other people down with her. I'm sure none of you have any of these things as goals for your life. Neither did she. This has been devastating to her family, but her grandma, her mom, and her sister have stood by her side and never gave up. She did lose respect and support of other family members, but right now she's standing strong in spite of it all and in recovery. So myself, as a daughter, I could have caused my parents much grief and heartache and cost them everything they worked hard for if I had made that first choice to use heroin. As a sister, I could have lost the respect of my brother, or worse yet, gotten him involved also, if I had chosen to use the first time. As a wife and mom, I could lose everything I hold dear and more if I ever make that first choice to use. Addiction is a disease of the brain. Heroin reconstructs your brain to tell you that you need it. That's a lie that's hard to defeat, but it can be done, as most of the speakers you will hear from here have proven, and I'm very proud of each and every one of them. All of us are here today and tomorrow to give you some insight into the world of an addict and how difficult that life is, as well as for their family, and how difficult it is to get out of it. Many people can tell you these things, these horror stories, but the decision to use or not use is made by you alone. Our hope is that we have had a positive impact on you all today, and you will make the wise choice. Can the 2 volunteers stand, please? Can you tell me if you've chosen a career path or anything after what you're, like after college?
Yes.
What is it?
Farming.
Okay. These 2 represent 2 people who have died in the time that I've been talking from a drug overdose. They'll never be seen again, and their dreams will never be realized. Thank you.